Well, Mr. Harilela, thank you for joining our program today.
Thank you very much.
Well, I know you study law and politics in the university, so why don't you become a legislator or a lawyer, but you join your family business to run the hotel group?
I always knew that I was going to join the hotel business, actually. Ever since I was young, I always used to read the papers my dad used to give me at school and university that was pertaining to the hotel division. I think my university career, I did something that interested me academically. For example, my first degree was in law and politics. I have a BA in law and politics. And I enjoyed the politics side, and especially the political philosophy side, very much, that I ended up doing a PhD in political philosophy. So it was just, I think, for interest's sake.
Well, as you mentioned, you always expected to join your family business. How do you compare family business in Indian communities with the Chinese communities?
I think you have to measure any business, regardless of whether it's family-run or non-family run, by the same yardsticks. I think in today's environment, it's a very complicated world out there, and we all have to succeed in our businesses, and it's all measured by the same way. Your banking relationships will tell you, yield will tell you, and if you succeed in expanding, those are the measures for a business.
Well, as you need to work with your father, what happens when you have conflict?
Generally, we'd get into a room and we'd try to talk it out and try to understand each other's position. If we can't find consensus, obviously, we'll try to compromise. The most important thing that I find is that in the office environment, when you're talking about business matters, you have to actually just take away the family relationship, because it's for the good of the business. And we both accept that, so it doesn't get too tense.
And what do you learn the most from your father?
Patience, which I haven't got yet, wisdom for sure, and his abilities to compromise as well as his negotiating tactics. His wisdom is through many years of dealing in businesses as well as hotels, and that's something which slowly comes with time.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever think of listing your company?
We were previously listed, but we bought back. We would possibly list some arms of our business, but I don't think at this stage we would look to list the Hong Kong operations.
And how do you compare the pros and cons to be a family business in Hong Kong?
I think there are many pros. The pros are that generally you do things on consensus. The board of directors and the shareholders, they have known each other in and out of the working environment, so therefore they know each other's characters well. It's very easy to get a consensus. They are obviously family members. You can also get together if an important decision needs to be made quickly. The due process is not that complicated. The cons of a family business is if you start to intermix your family and your business issues. We've tried very desperately to keep them separate. We don't get involved in anybody else's family life, and the family matters don't occupy our office time.
And what are the best and the worst decisions you have ever made?
I would say one of the best decisions I ever made was to buy a small hotel in London. I just joined the business, and it was a big financial crisis in the UK. We bought a hotel which is in a wonderful location now, and we bought it for very cheap. We've probably seen a 400% increase in its value, and that's excluding about a 50% increase in the currency. My worst decisions generally revolve around restaurants. I think the problem is when you own hotels, you always like the idea of getting involved in the restaurant. And I don't think I think I should accept that I don't do that very well.
Overall, what do you think are the key of success to run a good hotel?
I think it has to be professionalism. You have to have professionals at every level, whether it's at the hotel level. You have your general managers, your rooms division manager, etc., etc. And at your corporate level, you also have to have professionals, whether they're financial professionals, legal professionals, architectural. If you don't have them in-house, you obviously have to outsource them. And I think financial discipline.
I know you and your father both like sport, but how do you find time for that?
I think you always have to find time for that. everybody has their form of relaxation. Both my father and I enjoy sports and reading, and I think it's very important. It gives you mental clarity. There's a wonderful example that I remember my father telling me. He used to play tennis regularly, and he had a very important decision to make one day, and a crucial deadline. And his office and he woke up in the morning, he didn't have the answer to this, and he went on the tennis court, played for about an hour and a half or two. His office was calling him constantly. These were the days without mobile phones, so they were calling the club. He refused to take the phone call. And he said after he played his tennis, his mind was clear. He went to the office and he had the solution for the problem. I find the same thing. I think it's very important for mental clarity for myself. So I enjoy tennis, horseback riding, playing polo, and a lot of other sports, and I try to find the time when I can.
Wow, that's very interesting indeed. Well, thank you very much for joining our program today.
Thank you very much, Enoch.